Just go for it. I'll put the title up later. It's the Valentine's Day curse.
You're going to put the title up later? Really?
Yeah, I'm just going to put the title up later. We're just going to go live right now.
Okay. What's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. I've got Greg McDaniel here. This is Real Estate Uncensored, the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate business into a life of freedom. We've got a great, wonderful repeat guest with us today. We are talking about how to break through to the next level, how to go beyond leveraging your sales skills and break through the ceiling, maybe whether it's self-imposed or not. We're talking about breaking through that ceiling and into another level of production and success. So this is going to be a fun episode. We're going to go through a few different things. We're going to take some questions, both live and from the Lead Gen Scription Objections group on Facebook, and a bunch of stuff. And here I have my finally clean-shaven, very sharp-looking co-host, Greg McDaniel, in the co-pilot seat where he so belongs. Greg, what's up today?
What up, buddy? So I'm wearing black today in solidarity. It is Valentines. Let's take a nod our head in silence for the death of romance. Okay. Okay, we're back.
All right.
if you have to buy chocolates and flowers to get some on one day of the year, you're really epically fucking it up the other 364 days, guys. Just a heads up on that one. Besides, Cupid's fucked it up so much for me, I tell him to stay away. You don't come near me with that stupid little bow and arrow. You don't know what that thing's been dipped in before. It's nasty.
This is the worst intro of a show we've ever done.
Oh, no, it's not. I hate Valentine's Day. But you know what? I did shave the beard. I felt like there needed to be a new version of me out there, and I got tired of. I think you're the one that put up the breakup beard, which had no correlation whatsoever. But I just got sick and tired of. Just being fluffy and eating my own whiskers, and I really enjoy just being back out, being me. When I'm doing the motivational, show in the morning, people are like, "There's your face." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, everybody, I get it. Get it."
Yes.
Matt is a very happy man because he finally doesn't have to run in shame. And whenever I'm around, like, nope, he doesn't belong to me. Nope, that's not my co-host. That's the other guy's co-host.
That's right. That's right. I'll start a Twitter hashtag campaign. Not my co-host. Just like the not my president. Oh, that's right. Okay, so let's bring in our very special featured guest, Don Cunningham from Fidelity Coaching. Don, how are you today?
Doing great, guys. Appreciate the opportunity to be on with you.
Yeah, we're excited.
Glad to have you back.
Even Greg.
Hey.
That's right. Even Greg. Exactly.
Hey.
So we're having a little bit of trouble getting some high quality audio from Don. So bear with us today, guys. But hang in there because he's got a lot of great stuff to share as he always does. And we're working on getting his audio improved for the next round when he comes back with us in April. But bear with us today. There's a couple questions that caught my eye that I want to start off with, one or two of them, just to get the ball rolling here, and then we'll dive into kind of how to break through that ceiling. So let's see. Jeff Dono in the Facebook group says, "Hey all, an agent in my neighborhood has taken a significant market share by using a market report folded mailer sent out monthly. It's clearly an automated, attractive report that highlights the most recent sales in the neighborhood with a nice logo, folded in half, cleanly laid out. Wondering if you've had success with such a service, and if so, which one? One that is a sort of automated monthly mail out defined by a mapped area of homes." And so what he's really talking about is, number one, farming as a strategy, and number two, within that, doing direct mail, a market type report, a recently sold homes report. And Greg, that's something you guys have been doing for quite a while. Is it mostly based around recent sales, the CoreFact mailers you guys send out?
Yeah, we do everything with CoreFact, and so we pick a radius around like where we want to be sending everything out to. The CoreFact does a really good job for us in regards to getting it out very professional. Lots of color, glossy, whatever you really want. So that's who I use. That's who I'd recommend you guys to go take a look at as someone that would be doing a good job for you, because on the back end, if you choose to, there's a code that's associated with that address. So it says, hey, do you want to get the value of your home? Go to this third-party website. You can get a value on this website. Then you get notified as the agent when these people are looking. Whoops, sorry for hitting the mic. And so that you can stay top of mind when it's the right time, when they're actually looking for values. But yeah, they can do they can do letters, they can do a lot of different stuff, but that's what I use.
Okay. And Don, how about you and the agents that you work with and coach? What do you recommend when they want to branch out and start farming an area of, thousands of homes, what's the strategy that you typically work out with them?
Well, I think that I think this is one of the greatest pieces, and I tell this to all my agents who are going to go into geographic farming, and that is that this is the most valuable piece of information that they can possibly send out. It's just listed, sold, and pending transactions in that neighborhood. Okay. And the reason why is because, number one, it's valuable, and it's when we think about dropping off things to in a geographic farm, 99% of those things go straight from the door to the garbage can. Mm-hmm. And the difference between this piece is it has relevance. It has relevance to the homeowner. And I've seen where homeowners hang on to those on a regular basis just to go back and look and see what the difference was 6 months or a year ago. So, if you brand that appropriately, like I said, it's one of those things. It's kind of like a calendar. If you've got your face on there, they see it all the time. Now, subconsciously, they may not recognize it, but when they see it again, they do. So I think it's one of the best pieces. It's the least expensive piece. I tell my people, you could do this. You literally could do it monthly. I have some people that do it quarterly, every other month, so that they can fill in those other months with some other pieces that they might want to try to get their attention with also. But I think it's great. I love seeing it when someone drops one at my door, just to kind of keep up on what's going on. Mm-hmm. So when you can see the address and you know that it's 3 doors down, it has relevance. So I think it's a great tool. Absolutely one of the best, I think.
Yeah, even myself as an agent, Don, when I get one of those things like here's a market update and here's what's active, pending, and sold, I plop my happy ass down on the couch and I just flip through it. I could easily go to the MLS and look everything up myself, but I really enjoy them as well. So I know that the people, the homeowners, are probably enjoying it even more because they don't have the direct access to the MLS like we do. So I think it's a great thing. But you have to be consistent on it, though. It can't be hit and miss, right?
I agree. Right, I absolutely agree. It has to be on some kind of regularity. Otherwise, it has very little value. I've seen clients who, hang on to those things and expect them, and then all of a sudden, what happens with so many agents when they start a farm, 6 months in, they get busy and they drop it. So, people come to the place where they actually depend on it. I think it's like I said, it's a great tool.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy today, actually, and one of the things that cracked me up was the fact that one of our fellow podcasters, Matt, you know who this individual is. I'm not going to say this person's name on air. This person has massively apparently dropped the ball in regards to putting out content. And so people stopped looking for this podcast. And this person had a really successful podcast, and they just aren't putting out any episodes. It's the same thing as you guys, having a very successful marketing program and platform, and then, I've had success. Well, I'm just going to completely stop now. And then I'll hit and miss. People will still remember me. That's complete bullshit. I mean, people want relevance, and they want it now. Thank you, Amazon, for totally screwing us over on this. Because, if you look at you order something on Amazon, and it's not there in 2 days, you're like, what the hell? Now it's getting to the point where I want it right now because we all got in the instant gratification mindset. And it's hard for us to get outside of that because it's everywhere around us we can have it. Uber will be here like this. Airbnb, I can get a room anywhere I want right away. Amazon, anything on earth I want, except for hookers and drugs, you can get pretty much through Amazon, and it can be delivered to you. So you have to deliver that same level of service and present that mindset that you can deliver their wish on their time frame. And that's by being in front of them consistently. And I'm reminding them consistently that you're the man, you're the woman that is the right person for the job. Because if I'm sending mailers, and Don starts sending mailers, and I slack off, Don's going to get my business. And I laid the foundation for him.
Right. I think the other thing is that when you are doing that, I think that as you brand that, you want to brand it as your Apple Valley Realtor or, whatever that subdivision or areas and just, get them in the mindset. When I was selling real estate, I would work with my clients all the way through the process, and I would just keep planning. I'm your realtor for life, and I don't know what happened when I left, but I guess you're still alive. So, anyway.
One of my buddies, Stefan Adika in Paso Robles, he's hilarious, by the way. And he actually, what he says, like, he's totally in passing, he says this, but he says, "Hi, this is Stefan Adika with X, Y, and Z real estate agent, real brokerage. Your preferred real estate, your preferred realtor in the area. And the reason why I'm calling," he just leads in like, "I'm the man. You need to work with me. No ifs, ands, buts, or whatever
Right.
about it." And I chuckle about that every time he does that. I'm like, he believes it so passionately. I'm like, all right, you're gonna get deals from it.
That's what Aaron Wittenstein started doing. He started calling himself the agent in the area or something like that. I'm the realtor, real estate agent in your area.
Yeah.
Yes. As if there's not
close.
2,000 others.
Yeah.
That was really good
Right.
stuff. So what's another question you got, Johnson?
All right. So other question that caught my eye is Ryan Gillard wondering if anyone knows a strategy to actively prospect for bank-owned listings. So Don, what's your experience been with your agents? Because I know some of your guys being team leaders, and I mean they're doing a lot of listings. I'm sure there's some bank relationships that they've been able to build over the years. What would you recommend?
Well, I think that, when you look at bank-owned properties, the challenge is that administration-wise, it's always changing, and typically the guys that you got to connect with are middle management, which seems to be the first to go when things start slowing down at the banks. But it is making connections with the REO departments of those banks. In other words, what do I have to do? Is there some way, whether it's try to get them to go out for coffee or but then you have to be prepared to show them why you're different from anybody else. What are you going to do? Because anybody can slop up or throw up a listing for an REO, and everybody wants a piece of it. According if it's priced right. Today, REO business is pretty slow. Comparatively to 5 years ago, but that is an area contacting the actual bank, trying to figure out who that is, who the person that is at the bank that you want to create that relationship with, and find out what their expectations are. Who's doing it now, and why do they get to do it? Those are questions that I like to kind of focus on. And the other thing is pre-foreclosure situations with attorneys. What's the notice? The first notice that banks send out. Caught me off the top of my head. You know what I'm talking about?
Was it notice of default, Craig?
Yeah, notice of default.
Yeah,
Okay.
NOD. Sorry, thank you. Yeah. That's another avenue, again, for trying to get some of those. But it takes consistency because those NODs are shot out if you're, I don't know what it is, 15 days late or so. So you're dealing with situations that may not be a long-term situation. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're going to get in front of the banks, that is truly a relationship that you need to cultivate. It is not like you can't just go, "I want your listings." It has to be like, "Hey, Don, we've been talking for a while. I know you kill it in real estate. Hey, I'm whispering from my upstairs guys that we're going to be, we're going to be releasing some inventory, or the foreclosures are starting to take place. We need someone." I was thinking about you, man. Last time we got together, I really liked what you had to say. Can we talk?
Right.
Yeah,
but I think you've got to do the cultivating. You got to set your sights on, maybe 2 or 3 people that 2 or 3 different banks, and just begin the process of creating rapport, building a relationship. And now's the time to do it, right?
I mean,
Right,
do they
right,
care? I mean, do they
absolutely.
care enough to give you the time of day right now? If you start getting out there and building relationships now before there's a lot of bank-owned properties, out there, and like should we be developing the relationships now? And do they care enough to give us the time of day now when there's not a big need for it?
Well, I think I think I think now's a good time because it isn't, it's not a crowded field like it is when they start rolling out.
Okay.
The way that prices are going up, and you see it in Southern California, Northern California, Seattle, all over the place. Values are beginning to do what they did back in 2004 and 5 and 6, and not exactly. We're setting up a repeat. I don't want to call that.
Right.
And who knows how long that is down the road. But cultivating bank sources is not just good there. There's opportunities where people come into their local bank and they want to apply for a loan. That's the worst place in the world to apply for a loan. I mean, at a bank, to be honest with you, to apply for a home loan. So there's opportunities that may exist just simply because of people who are in there and like it's making application. But to get a bank loan for a mortgage, I mean, you're looking at, as an individual, you're looking at a 90-day turn versus a 30-day. If I'm working with Greg, or who's got his lender right there, is going to get the deal done and get it approved and get it closed. Mm-hmm. Mortgage brokers are much more motivated to close those deals anyway. I think I got distracted with you were asking the question as what else can you get from bankers? That's where all the money is.
Okay.
True. That's where they keep the money.
Yeah.
So people going in and out and in opportunities. I don't know if it's the greatest investment in your time, but I think if you did something consistently on a regular basis and put that into kind of your marketing strategy for down the road. What if I had 2 or 3 of these guys that I could pick up the phone and call with no notice, and they'd actually take my call? That's going to be very handy down the road, I think.
There's been a lot of whispering going on in the neighborhoods talking about the next windfall. People are very much kind of speculating on when that's going to take place. I know that it hit so hard in 2007 that none of us could really see it. I mean, there are some people that had their finger on the pulse of the marketplace, but what would be a couple of moves that an agent could do right now to start where would a resource that you've told your clients to go read about the marketplaces, go look at the history, go see when that time frame might hit, and then start building the relationships. Literally go to Wells Fargo, go to B of A, go to Chase, go to these different organizations and figure out who handles their shadow inventory and start making inroads with those people. Matt, who told us about the book Blue Fishing? Forget who told us about it, but I picked it up.
Oh, you mean like blue ocean hunting, that kind of thing?
No, it's actually, the book is called Blue Fishing. It's right here. Absolutely phenomenal book. But,
James Colburn.
Oh, James.
Yeah, it's about the guy that just
phenomenal.
makes things happen.
Just makes things happen. It's a fantastic book, and I guess I would be interested to pick Don's brain a little bit about that. Like, people are going to say, well, I can or cannot do something, but if you just follow this book and just listen to it, I mean, just how you just go make things happen. Don't overanalyze anything. Just go out there and make it happen. I think you can really start to make the inroads and make the relationships now that you'll need in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. We don't know where we're going to land. 2 months, who knows?
Yeah.
But just like he says in the book, he's like, look, the analyticals are out there, and they are, A/B split testing. They're doing this, they're doing that. When he just jumps into the pool with both boots on, starts putting things into action. And by the time these people start doing something, he's already done it 3 or 4 times. He's already figured out how to make it work. We all sit around and pontificate so much about, we smoke our pipes. Like, is this the best way to do it, or is this the best way to do it? No, this is the best way to do it.
Right.
When in reality, it's like, just jump in and go to
do
work.
Just do it. Oh, that's a great phrase. I wonder if anybody would want to buy that. Just do it.
Just, I wonder. It just brings a memory about some very athletic wear company comes to mind.
Yeah. No, I don't know if there's a question in all that, Greg. I'm not
Probably
sure
not.
I've heard one, but it was great pontificating with you. Sorry.
Yes. This show is nothing like this. Show is at least 90% pontificating, so don't discourage it too bad. Like, it's basically the three of us pontificating.
But we have something to pontificate over.
I think the question in there somewhere is how do you address, or how do you know when this is going to take place? The answer is pretty simple. You don't. It was 2006 when I started realizing that we were in serious trouble. It was way into 2007 before everybody else figured it out. Now, that didn't make me smart. I just was looking at the numbers and trying to came to the conclusion that this is going to fall apart. I had no idea how bad it was going to be, obviously, but you could just kind of see it in the way that the market was going. You'd see deals, when you get to a place where it's kind of like the stock market. By the time somebody tells you it's a good deal, it's too late.
Yeah, it's so true.
And the same thing is true in the real estate market, and that is we're seeing so much of this. And when you look across the country and the clients that I'm coaching, the one thing that seems to be very familiar is there's no inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Inventory is low just about everywhere, and which is going to drive prices. When prices go up, people begin to panic. They think that it's kind of that 2005 mentality of, I got to get it now if I'm going to make any money. This is the last hurrah mentality. So today I'm very concerned that the inventory is not there in so many states across the country. I kind of think that 2018 would turn a little bit. The economy is very, very positive today. Whether you like him or not, the direction that we're headed is very positive economically, and so I project that 2018 will be one of the best years we've had. I'm not seeing the inventory increase as much as I thought it would by now. So
with that being said, Don, there's something that I do it on a consistent basis. It drives Matt batshit crazy, but Matt's like, Greg, is there another thing to the list I should add? What it is, it's constantly life hacking. When you see a problem, just work around it. So we don't have inventory. Great. Where is the inventory? It's living there somewhere.
Right.
If it's not on the MLS, where is it? Let's find that little bastard and kill him and skin it, and let's eat something. Because if you don't kill anything, you don't eat in this business. End of story.
Right.
That's why we want you guys all to come over to EXP with our national team, and we'll show you guys how to build passive income. Passive income.
Right.
I mean, if you're like Matt, you guys still make money. If you're like Matt, I mean, this guy he sits around. I mean, that schedule's so wide open. I mean, that's why he only does 15-minute calls. So he doesn't have to commit to a full 30 minutes. And if you know Matt at all, guys, that's the polar opposite of what Matt does. He's so regimented. Like, it's ridiculous how well regimented he is. I just like to pick on him.
I appreciate you walking that statement back, Greg.
Hey,
that's
you
funny.
deserve to be summarily slapped slightly here, and then I give you your credit where it is.
All right, yes. But I agree, Don. I think that agree or not with the politics, at the very least, the tax changes have freed up some money that would have otherwise gone to the government, or at least in the minds of the business owners. They have more money to potentially work with this year, and so of course that's going to stimulate activity, and some of that money is going to go into the real estate market. Some of that money is going to go into people investing into their businesses, maybe hiring more people, like all good things, all things that we want to have happen. I think what it's done is kick the can down the road in terms of the final day of reckoning, when a lot of the malinvestment that's gone on over the last, let's say, 10 years and even beyond will shake out. Like, it will shake out eventually. And what we're seeing with the low inventory is it's a manifestation of, like, credit, interest rates being held artificially low and stuff like that, and that can't go on forever. So the only question is, when does it burst, and all that stuff. So I don't know. I would have said this year or next, but that was before the tax changes. And so now all bets are off. Who knows? But you're right. I mean, this could have been like all other things considered, this should be an amazing year for real estate and an opportunity for people to take some ground. The inventory thing is causing the problems, because if you don't know how to get out there and find the listings that aren't on the MLS, you're kind of it's easy for you to sit back and go, oh, I can't succeed because the economy, the inventory level is just not conducive. The fact is, the guys at the top don't care. They find a way around it. They build systems. They like they're compensating for it, and while you're whining about it.
Right, and I think that there's another thing with regards to that. There are so many agents tell me, well, I've got 3 buyers and they all know exactly where they want to live, and there's just no inventory. I mean, to me, it's like, hello, you just told me you know where they want to live. Why are you not going through that neighborhood and knocking on doors or picking up, pull the information out of whatever resource you have that's local to you for for their phone number, their address, all that good stuff, and sit down and start making phone calls. I've got a client who is very serious about wanting to buy a home in that neighborhood. Have you given any thought to selling your home? Period. Some will, some won't. So what? Next, just keep going. I mean, is it high likelihood? I don't know. You got to do it before, you can think about it, you can pontificate about it, and you won't do it. But the reality is that if you sat down with a list of, 50 or 100 names, and you just went through them with that simple question, have you ever given any thought to selling? I have a buyer that wants to move into that neighborhood. Tell me a little bit about your house. Period. Yeah. And just kind of move on. So that's an avenue. It's a hard avenue. It's work. But there's a lot of agents out there that don't have. If you have no properties out there, you really don't have anything to do. So might as well try something else.
It's funny. Rob St. John is watching and says the exact same thing. What else are people doing with their days? You can hear the frustration in Rob's voice, which I agree. Clearly, you're not out showing properties if you believe there's no inventory, so you can't find the house. You're not out showing it, so what else are you going to do? I like that approach. All right, so let's take a step back and Don, let us know how people can connect with you, and then we'll dive into some other stuff.
Well, I appreciate that. A little self-promotion. I appreciate that. My business is Fidelity Coaching. I've been doing this for the last 18 years. I have a very high success rate. I'm not focused just on top producers, but I have a number of people that I work with who are building teams, and I have a strategy for building those teams. And it's not as simple as many people think it is. It's not just throwing a warm body in there. There's many pieces to that puzzle. And then for those individuals out there who have done $60,000 to $100,000, or maybe you're looking at that arbitrary, non-existent ceiling of $100,000, breaking that. Most of the time, that's just very mental. It has to do with all kinds of things in your own background. So getting from 70,000 to 2.25, 2.5 is a goal that many people would love to have, but they just don't believe they can do it. And my success rate in taking people from, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 to $250,000, it's not instant, it's not overnight. It's, it could take 2, maybe 3 years to get there. But when you start to realize that what my income can be if I'm making $70,000 and I don't do something different, I'm going to make $70,000 every year for the next 10 years. Or I can step up and make $250,000 for the next 10 years. I just have to put something in place that's different from the way I've been doing it. And I have some very good strategies to help them do that. And my number, if anybody would like to give me a call or shoot me an email, is 619-405-9698. Love to hear from you. Sure appreciate you guys and your platform that we get to talk once a month or so. And I'll turn it back to you guys. Thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah, of course.
You deserve it. I mean, the reason why, Don, when you reached out when we originally talked, you struck me right off the bat as someone that we needed to get in front of our audience. We have a very mixed audience, and a lot of folks are either struggling and or are a little bit newer in the business. And what are you, like 90 percentile of success with your clients? Something just stupid, ridiculously good.
Well, it's about 85, but it's I mean, it is pretty high for the coaching industry. I'm not big like a Ferry or those guys. I'm not a machine. I've got myself and one other person that right now, and we are very one-on-one. It's very personal. It's about you. It's not about, everybody doesn't have the same goal. I've had people get to $500,000 and say, I'll never want to do that again. I want to go back to 250 because I'm going to die if I keep doing this, so really it's just all about that individual, what they want, what's important to them. So again, thank you for that.
Yeah, it's an important stuff. You have a skill set Matt and I do not have. When it comes to training and coaching, you have a real natural touch to it. Guys, just so you're clear, as always, John does not pay us a dime to promote him. It's purely because we see so much value in the people we bring on the show, because they can relate, they can help you guys grow to where you want to be. And that's the cool part about it. And so, yeah, well, that was a love fest.
Wait, huh? You're not paying me? Wait, you're not paying me?
The checks might bounce, sir.
Sorry. forgot to mention that.
Small print. Sorry
exactly.
about that.
We can send you a tiny check, a tiny Monopoly check. Greg, how do they reach out to you?
Oh, my God. Okay, guys, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Again, bookmcdaniel.com. You guys know, Matt and I are very vocal about it. We are building a national EXP team. Guys, I have been booked. Matt, I got to show you my calendar after the show, dude. It is stupidly, crazily awesome how many people have reached out. I've had over 20 to 30 people in the last 48 hours reach out and book time with me, guys. I'm all the way through next week. If you don't get on the calendar, you're going to be the next month kids. We don't like next month's kids.
Yeah,
just like
the March kids.
Those are March kids.
Nobody wants to be the March kids.
Nobody wants to be the March kids.
Those ugly redheaded stepchildren. Man, put some paper bags over their heads.
Oh, and they have horse breath. Oh, it's horrible. You guys, if anyone remembers that, tell us where that originated from. We haven't done that in like over a year, almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
But guys, seriously, sign up with me. I'll show you guys how you can build wealth with EXP in our team, not just a paycheck. Seriously, we have so much coaching, so much training, so many products, so many contacts, anything you guys want or need. Don is one of those guys. If you book a 15-minute call with Matt, if you fit with what Don's, teaching is, Matt will push you over to Don. We have other coaches and trainers. So just go to bookmcdaniel.com, book 30 minutes with me. If it's something for you, sweet. If it's not, sweet. Either way, we just want to help you guys build a wealth and a 401k, and just so you don't have to do this grind at 70 years old. I know agents that are in their late 70s and 80s that are still on the grind. Fuck that. I'm sorry. That is not where I'm going to end up when in my 70s or 80s. And I'm pretty sure no one else on this call wants to be doing that either.
That's right. No, they do
Johnson.
not. All right. So Rob St. John brings up a good point. What about making more by being more profitable, which I'd love to get to in a second. But, Don, I'm curious. Let's talk about kind of getting to the next level, because you threw out a couple of the scenarios that we do see and hear about a lot, which is people, whether they feel like they're between that 60 and 100 grand mark, trying to get over the 100 grand mark, or let's say they're at that 50 to 75 deals a year, and that's another plateau that a lot of agents kind of get stuck at, getting over that. So let's talk about what it takes to kind of break through to that next level. So you're a good salesperson, you have a good pipeline, you know how to build your pipeline, you know how to be a good salesperson. Maybe you even have an assistant that helps you with some of the contract to close stuff so that you can focus on sales. All good things. You have a rock star business. You're the rock star. The entire business is built around you being a good salesperson. How do you break into the next level, right? So how do you become not just bigger, not just doing more deals, but actually making more profit? So what are some of the things that you would run through when you coach somebody that wants to break into that next level and take more profit home?
Well, one of the things that we do, we created a program called Aware, and we track all your listings, pendings, and close in there, and also buyer and seller pipeline. But one of the things that we look at is what is your average percentage per transaction. In other words, when you're in Southern California, there are things that are taken for granted that typically you're looking at 4.5% to 5%. You don't see a lot of 6%ers. You get into the Midwest, and you'll see 6.5%. The ones who really believe, and it has to do with what you believe you're worth,
right,
and then having the support that you need to show that. In the absence of
like supporting documentation or systems, yeah.
In the absence of value, price always becomes an issue. In other words, if I can show you why, or I make the assumption that you're going to pay 7% or you're going to pay 6%, then it may become an issue. But how do I support it? That's one thing. Because there's two things that drive the economics of the business for agents who begin to do a good job. One is the number of transactions, of course. Do more transactions, you should make more money. But I can do more I can raise my average sale price by focusing on a higher price point. Sometimes that is just simply a matter of recognizing that there is not a whole lot of difference between a $150,000 homeowner and a $500,000 homeowner. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They're working. One's more successful than the other financially, but the reality is it's still people that I can create rapport for. What would you rather do? Would you have four $150,000 sales, which is more units, or one $600,000 deal that probably closes in a quarter of the time or less than those other four deals? So those are higher prices is one, and higher commissions is one, and more units. Those are the three most powerful. A lot of times people get to the place where they do 50, 75 transactions. Maybe they've got an assistant, but they think the first thing they need to do is they need to go out and hire a buyer's agent. There's no sense in hiring a buyer's agent unless you have something to offer.
Right.
And because my recommendation to a leader is going to be somewhere between 35 and 50% maximum as far as paying someone. And it depends on what you've got to offer. Do you have a lead platform? You got Zillow, you got Boomtown, you got some of these other different platforms out there that are, proven to a degree as far as what they produce. And what other expectations do you have on that buyer's agent, and how do you support him or her? In other words, administratively, you have to have an administrative piece in before you can ever hire a buyer's agent. Otherwise you're just throwing bodies into it, and pretty soon people will figure out, I'm not really getting anything for this, and they can go to work for anybody for a minimum of 50%. The whole idea is I'll take less if I can get more deals. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, I like that because it gives people a mental way of looking at it, right? Which is the three essentially those are three profit levers that you can pull, right? So doing more deals, making more off of each deal by either raising your commission percentage, or by raising your average sale price, and then your commission percentage could stay the same or it could still go up. But yeah, those are the three primary levers. And I think one of the ways that you can branch into like raising your average sale price and maybe even raising your commission or both is by developing authority in the space, becoming more well-known, both in your community, both well-known to your database as being the go-to person for that sort of thing, and for calling out some of the things that you might do naturally that you don't think of. And maybe it's things that every agent does, I don't know, preferably be things that other agents don't do that actually truly make you different. But, I mean, even just calling out and putting together a package that explains what you're going to do to market the property is going to set you apart from 90% of other agents who go in there and have nothing of the sort. So there's things that you can do like that will support your efforts to raise your commission percentage or raise your average sale price and drive more profit into your pocket at the end of the year. But I like how you kind of lay it out. It's very, very simple. Those are the three main levers that you can pull. And the only question is, which lever are you going to focus on pulling, and what are you going to build around you that helps you pull on that lever? You know,
there's one more lever, and that is expenses. And if you're a lot of people that get into real estate kind of fall into it, and then they don't recognize that they're business and they're becoming business people. And that's one of the things that I try to teach also, is that your expenses are really important. We have to assess on a regular basis what you're spending money. What's your return on investment if you're paying X amount of dollars to Zillow? What are you tracking this? Do you have that kind of information? When I look at going out there and trying to sell properties, and you've got say you're at 6%, 6.5%. What makes me more valuable? So let's just say one of the things over the years we have shifted from the way we market. Very few good agents will put their ads in the Sunday paper. Very few good agents will have 4-hour open houses on Sunday. So the bottom line is how do I overcome that when I'm talking to the seller? The seller, basically, one of the things I tell my people is, hey, listen, these are the things. Quantify expectations. Make sure they understand what you do and what you don't do. One of the things I share with them is that 80% of all real estate is sold by 20% of the agents. One of the things that you won't see from me is you won't see these outstanding marketing aspects to the public. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go get it back to those 20% of the agents who have all the clients, and I'm going to market directly to them because they're the ones that have the buyers out there. So that's one of the things that you want to focus on, and then just the strategies of, if you like open houses, spin open houses. If you don't like open houses, spin it that way too. There's plenty of information to do that. Sorry, I got a little long on that.
No, it's fine. There's an interesting comment. Rob St. John says, does anyone know how accurate this statement is? This is, quote, Zillow yields on average a negative 35% return, end quote. Says he heard it at a very large conference last year and it blew him away. I don't know. I have not ever heard that stat before. I don't know if you guys have. Don, you're shaking your head no. Greg, you and I, there's no way we've heard this stat before that Zillow is a 35% negative return on leads. But no. I will say this. I know people that are making it work, and I'm sure, Don, you do too. As with any other type of lead, it depends on the agent who's working them. So if you were to take an average of what 100% of the agents across the country are doing when they're buying Zillow leads, and let's say they're getting a negative return, that doesn't mean you will. That doesn't mean the good agents are, because 20% of the agents are doing 90% of the deals or more because they actually work the leads.
Right. Matter of fact, I just looked at the numbers today, and then basically conversion is 1 out of 25, which is about 4%. 4% on 100. Well, it's 4% period.
Yeah.
This is a pretty high number. There aren't very many platforms out there that can produce that number, and frankly, I've seen as high as 10. And part of this has to do. There are so many people out there that think, okay, Zillow's my answer, so I'm just going to go out and start spending money on Zillow. What they don't recognize is that without reviews, you've got nothing. You're just spending money. I mean, without, 30, 20, 30, 40 reviews. So I'm always focused with my people who are using Zillow. Go out there, make sure that, you've got some incentive to your clients, your past clients, the ones that you're doing business with right now, and make sure that they get those posted. Not only posted on Zillow, make it easy for them to do that. In other words, you send them the information, you send them the link, and then on top of that is take that, have them send you that in a hard copy, in an email, something like that, so you can build those testimonials for other aspects of social media. So I'm a big fan of Zillow. I don't particularly like Zillow, the company, but they are very good if you do what you need to do. If you don't, I understand why people don't do very well.
Yeah.
One last thing on Zillow, you have to treat every lead, and I say this all the time, you have to treat every lead like it's solid gold until the moment you know it's not. Because when you look at 4%, that means 96% of them are going to be garbage. Okay, so 96 out of 100. If my mental attitude towards Zillow becomes the same on all 96, what are the chances that I'll miss the 4? In other words, if I hear this all the time, those Zillow leads are crap. Those REW leads are crap. Well, yeah. Some of them are, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But if you treat them like they're solid gold, to me, and the other thing is that many of these have to be cultivated over months. So creating rapport, keeping follow-up, and so on and so forth. So, sorry about being so long-winded, but go ahead. Next.
Love it.
Greg looks like he's getting ready to go home.
Well, Greg was over there petting his cat like a Bond villain. I don't know what's going on there.
I was. She jumped up on my good kitty. Good kitty. But I was just listening to you guys talk about, systems and everything else, not one of the things that I really go into, but you were talking about the Zillow stuff, so I did a quick search on that quote that Rob sent up, and I found a really interesting map done by Zillow. It's the percentage of homes with a mortgage in the negative equity by county. I'll put this link in here, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on how you can monetize properties with negative equity in them and how you would approach them. But there's a map. Just click on it. You can see the percentages and all that stuff. But there's some real opportunities out there for people. I mean, maybe you could go out there and do a wholesale deal on that and see if we can get people out of the negative equities, pick it up as an investment. I don't know. I don't know. There's potentially something there. But, Don, thoughts on that? Because that's an inventory source right there, guys. That's an inventory source. We just got to figure out how to cook it.
Well, I think the biggest challenge is, if I understand what you're saying, is basically these are homes that are in a situation where they need to be short sold.
Right.
Am I hearing you right? Okay. So
yeah,
short sale. One of the things that people need, or agents need to be careful of, is coming in and trying to be the person that saves them from themselves. The reality is, be truthful, be really upfront with them, and just say, there is an avenue, but this is it. There is an avenue to get out, but you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. And I don't want to advertise all that across the
right, but what I'm saying is that there's just an opportunity here, guys, because we're talking about lack of inventory and everything else. If you're, like Don was saying, if you're honest and truthful and you have the best wishes for the homeowner at heart, there's an opportunity here to get some additional deals if it's the right time for that seller to be vacating the property. Be very clear.
Well, and the other avenue is, again, get hooked up with somebody who does flips. Basically can come in and cash them out, and again, and this is a strategy that's used by those who do flips, is if they're upside down, you just want out. I mean, you're in a prison, you just want out, and there are specific ways that you can get out and move on. but these also present an opportunity. In many cases, they also, part of the reason they're negative may be the way they're taking care of the property or the distress situation that they're in, and so on and so forth. So there's other opportunities there also. So
very good, very, very cool. Oh my, Matt, we are almost at bingo. When you have fun, time flies. Wowzers.
Yeah, well, and this is awesome because so the three main profit levers, and then the other profit lever you can pull is lowering the expenses. So that's a great way for anyone that just wants to increase their business, but especially in real estate, if they're feeling like they're stuck, if they're feeling like they've hit a ceiling, look at those three things plus your expenses and lowering the expenses and then raising the other three elements. One of the things I think trips up a lot of not just agents, but small business owners of any kind, is that we're so focused on the next deal, the next client, that we don't really think about building a machine, because the machine then has the potential to throw us more clients than we are comfortable taking on. And if you're a solo person, if you're truly solo, that's a hard thing to get over. You really don't free yourself up from that necessarily until you get some staff that can help you, whether it's a part-time assistant, full-time assistant, transaction coordinator that works part-time for you on contract, like whatever it is. Some people just need that to get over that. Well, a coach will, yes. I mean, a coach can help with that too, with the mindset part of it, yes. But yeah, there's definitely there's something there where people have trouble wrapping their brain around the idea of building a machine that throws off a lot of clients, a lot of prospects, because then they will be overwhelmed. They equate more clients with more work. Now, it doesn't have to be. Right. There's ways around that, but unless you know what those ways are, a lot of agents go, "Oh man, I couldn't handle 10 new listings right now, even if you drop them in my lap." If you don't have the right systems in place, that might be true. Like 5 or 10 new clients, if dropped in your lap all at the same time, might break your business. And that's okay, but let's start getting the systems in place so that it doesn't break your business, because then you can put your time and effort into building a machine that throws off a lot of prospects. You can start to either cherry pick, or you can do what you said, Don. You can bring in a buyer's agent where you actually do provide them value because you have something to offer them. And so I just wanted to point that out, that I think that's a limiting belief that a lot of agents and small business owners have, which is, well, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z because I can't handle that many clients, right? Yeah.
I was just going to say that statement is so familiar to me, because one of the things I get my clients to do is prospect, and when I finally get them to actually do the prospecting, and they get 2 or 3 deals, I'll say, well, how are you doing on your prospecting? And they'll say something like this: well, I've got so busy I can't afford to prospect because I got too many deals. I said, well, let me record that and let me play it back to you to see what you think. Because the bottom line is that prospecting works, but you got busy, and then there's a prioritizing of each one of those activities. Why is it one person, a solo agent, can do 40 transactions, $250,000, and a solo agent over here can only do $40,000, working as many hours as the one over on the other side? What's the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Is it one that's better looking? Not necessarily. Is one that's smarter? Not necessarily. Is one that believes versus one that doesn't? One that looks for an answer and one that doesn't.
Yeah.
So the answers are there. And, again, very few people go from $30,000 to $250,000 without time to make adjustments. So to worry about having too much business is a situation that most of us would love to have. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, let's put a bow on this one. So just to refresh everyone, so Don, is it Don at fidelitycoaching.com, right?
No, it's Don.Cunningham at fidelitycoaching.com. Sorry about that.
Don.Cunningham.
What's wrong with him?
He's never going to come back on our show now, Matt. Never going to come back on our show.
Screwed the pooch on that one. And then Greg, how do people reach you?
Guys, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Again, bookmcdaniel.com. Get 30 minutes with me, guys. Do it sooner than later. My calendar literally is filling up rapidly. See if the EXP team is going to be a right move for you. It is the right move for a lot of folks, guys. I'm only going to personally going to put on 500 people onto my team, and then I'm going to go full blown into recruitment mode for all of you guys and all of your people down. All your teams you're going to recruit, because I want to bring people into you, help you guys create wealth. Right, not a paycheck, wealth, true long-lasting wealth. And you're not going to sell soap. You're going to sell real estate, okay? Mm-hmm. This is not a recruiting thing. This is a team-building thing, and I want you guys to get on my team. I want to put more value into you than ever before, and Matt and I are going to turn up the heater big time with bringing products and bringing more value to you guys. And Matt is personally going to spend days with you, days with you in your offices, working out your systems. He will pay for his own flights. He will make his own meals.
Wow.
And he will walk his dog even while he's teaching you. Guys, this is a selfless man. A selfless man to do this. And he will fly to Michigan in the winter just because he loves the weather.
Oh, my goodness. Well, with that being said, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. I'm not going to give out my calendar link now. So, guys, go to bookmcdaniel.com, grab 30 minutes on his calendar. And we just want to say real quick that we appreciate you sharing the show. You notice that we don't do a bunch of Facebook ads for the show. It grows because you guys continue to tell your fellow agents about it. You tell your brokers. You tell other people, other friends, even that aren't in the business. Mysteriously, we have people watching and listening that are not in real estate at all and seem to get something out of listening to us pontificate. So we appreciate you guys doing that, and we love you for it. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube if you want the video version, and then we've got the audio version on iTunes and Apple Podcast app and Stitcher, and you can subscribe on your favorite podcast app. If you use Android, apps like Overcast and Pocket Cast are really popular. They're actually more popular than Stitcher, even though Stitcher is free. So if you guys have any of those podcast apps and you're a hardcore podcast listener, just look for Real Estate Uncensored. We're extremely easy to find, and leave us a review. Let us know what you think of the show. I think that's all that I have, Greg.
Yeah, it has to be a 5-star review. No 1-stars, fools. That fucks up our mojo.
Unless, that's right. Rate Greg's beard elsewhere, not on iTunes. Go to Google and Facebook to leave a rating for Greg's beard.
By the way, Lindsey Brown gave me a shout out. Much love to you, girl. She says, grow the beard back.
I know. Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
Oh, encourage.
Don't
encourage
all the
most
him.
Fear the beard.
You're going to fear the beard. All right. You guys, we do this because we love you. Follow me. Subscribe to me. I do a morning meditation or mojo or
morning mindset.
I never get that right.
Morning mindset.
Morning mindset with McDaniel every morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. They're going to show up totally at the wrong time.
That's Greg's morning.
8:30 a.m. We're going to do over something mindset-wise to unfuck you guys so that you get out there and you're ready to rock and roll, take the day on, share that with people. Then I do the podcast at 11 with Matt 3 days a week, and then we do a 4:30 show Monday through Friday for doing live prospecting calls. Follow me, guys. You'll get the notifications, and hopefully this will help you guys get out there and see that I get my ass kicked, and it's just part of the business, but how to let it roll off your back. But, all right, guys, we will see you soon, and as always, Matt, peace out, ninjas!